Hi everyone, welcome to Creating Meaningful Activities for All Students, Week 2. I'm Melanie Eisen, Associate Director for Professional Development at the YU School Partnership. I hope that you gain some meaningful information, some resources, some ideas from week 1. Please don't hesitate to reach out should you have any questions or concerns about the first week. And please make sure to get any comments or questions on the discussion board and your assignments in a timely fashion so that I can give you more resources if needed, and feedback on your work. This week we're going to talk about 21st century skills. A lot of lip service has been paid to this, but the 4 C's of education in terms of 21st century skills are the following: communication, critical thinking, creativity, and collaboration. None of these, of course, is new to education, but with the overview of where our students are and how we're teaching our students, it's important to keep them in all of these 4 in perspective as we teach our students. Sort of a striking statistic is that we really have no idea what the jobs are going to be for the students which we're teaching right now, whom we're teaching right now. Even myself as a mother of a 17-year-old and a 14-year-old, and the 17-year-old gearing up to think about what college to go to, I have no idea what he'll be doing with his life. You know, of course, as parents, we only wish happiness just as we do for our students, but we also want them to be secure and happy in the choices that they make. One thing for sure is these 4 skills, no matter what they do, will come into play. Communication, being able to speak with each other, whether we're doing it face-to-face or remotely, how we communicate, how we understand each other, how we perceive each other's feelings and reactions, how we share our ideas, and how we listen to other people's ideas is extremely important. Critical thinking, being able to think outside the box and continuing to ask questions, just as we spoke about in the first week, in which your assignment was to help your students to get through a KW L-chart, but an advanced one, KW HL AQ, to be able to really get the kids to take what they hope to learn and then apply it in a way that provides meaning to themselves and maybe even to the outside world. But being able to ask those questions and continue to ask the questions, and for us to encourage those questions, will encourage the learning. Of course, creativity. We think about the onset of Google and all of the innovations that have come in the last 15 to 20 years. It's amazing what creativity has come to learn now. It's not just about mixing some colors and creating a beautiful piece of artwork, but that beautiful piece of artwork could be a beautiful collaborative piece, a beautiful project that best represents what our students can do, a project that not only shows what the kids understand, know, and are able to do with the information we give to them, but then hopefully to have them help others because of their work. And finally, collaboration. Whether or not we do it remotely or face-to-face, whether it's a Havruta study sitting right next to somebody, or reaching out through Skype in the classroom to go further than we've ever thought we could take our students, we're able to really open the world up to our students through the use of technology, and through using our own 21st century skills. So again, when we look at this graphic, we're 21st century teachers teaching 21st century learners. Here's the caveat though. They live in a digital age. We are immigrants to this age. They own it. I recently purchased a new computer. How do I get through my day on this computer? I have my children helping me. I like to learn, and so I can take a course at Apple, but it comes so naturally to them, the way they tackle a problem, the way I might get frustrated right away, but they try to find out and try to really map out ways to solve problems. This is the kind of teaching that I love to see. This is the kind of teaching that I know we're all striving towards. I visited a preschool not long ago in Dallas, Texas, and the preschool teachers were helping their students to really map out how they were going to proceed with a certain project. It was for Tu B'Shvat, it was for Tu B'Shvat, and they were making a project that involved making a tree that they had seen outside. And the teacher took them to this amazing art closet and said, okay, before you start pulling brown paper and brown paint and maybe some green, really think about what your tree looked like. What are the materials that you're going to need? What is the process you're going to need to take to complete this project? And let's map out what that is and write down the steps so we don't skip any steps, and we create a project that best reflects how we interpreted the directions and how we interpreted what we saw in our tree. There are some pieces here that, I still struggle with, and I still have to be urged to do it, even feeling secure asking my colleagues for help, modeling what resiliency and perseverance is. My favorite one, of course, is dreaming big and asking, why not? Why can't we do it that way? If one of your students says, I want to take that activity, but I'd like to move it along so that it best represents what I understand, encourage that. You want that kind of growth. You want them to interact with the material so that what you're teaching them today will have a lasting effect on them. What does it mean to be creative? What does it mean to think outside the box? What does it mean to imagine? Instead of using the phrases, no, why don't we try to encourage our students to say, why not? Or instead of listening to hearing them say, I can't do it, can we focus on saying, you can't do it yet? What can I do to support your learning? What can I do to help you to learn and to grow? How do you take this basic assignment? This is what I want to be able to see that you understand the content and really show how you understand it. Critical thinking, here's Bloom's taxonomy. It's been around for a long time, but yet it still should be resonating within your classroom. When you teach, do you find yourself staying towards the bottom two rungs of Bloom's taxonomy? Are you asking the what questions, the who questions, the where questions, and hesitating to ask the why questions, the what if questions, the I wonder if questions? Or have you seen this before? What would you do with this information? When I was teaching, I would oftentimes pre-plug questions into a book I was reading or into a lesson I was giving to make sure that I asked those different kinds of questions to ensure that I was stretching my students' minds a little bit to think a little bit outside the box and to stretch them into how they related to the information to make it theirs. I understand the information as a teacher, but I have to share it with them so that they can internalize it and really let it marinate within themselves so it has meaning to them. Asking these questions and encouraging them to ask questions that go up and down the spectrum of Bloom's taxonomy is an amazing way to inspire critical thinking. Communication. How can you bring the outside world into your classroom? What are some ways that you can do it? I have a colleague, Elise Haber, in Montreal. Many of you might know her. She has an amazing blog that she hosts for her first and I believe third graders. It's an amazing way for them to contribute to the outside world. It has pushed her own practice and pushed the practice of her students so that when they submit a writing assignment, she's going to publish it on the blog. Having something published takes on a whole different meaning. You're not just writing for yourself anymore. You're getting ready to share your written work with the outside world. Using Skype in the classroom, using Twitter as a resource find, getting involved in Edutopia and Teaching Channel, all of these pieces will help to open up your professional learning network digitally to bring the outside world into your classroom as well. Collaboration, inspiring your students to work together. Group work is not easy. It's not easy to manage. It's not easy to plan. It certainly adds a whole different dimension to when you're planning for a lesson, but it is so important for kids to be able to work together. At the North American Jewish Day School Conference, I sat in on a session on developing Chavruta work, and I never thought about what the presenter said. It was so interesting to me. What kinds of questions are you encouraging your students to ask each other as they sit in Chavruta study? How are you training your students to work one-on-one like that so that they are productive and respectful and that they attack the text in a way that provides meaning for them? These presenters presented the idea of Chavruta as a triangle, that there's the two participants that are the children or the students, and the third participant is the text. And just as they ask questions of each other, so the students should be asking questions of the text as well. When we have our kids doing text study, it's not just about fluency anymore, but what are they learning from what they're reading? How are they taking the information and making it their own? Could they teach it to others? And if they did, how would they do so? So what can these 4 C's look like in your classroom? Collaboration, critical thinking, communication, and creativity. What do they look like in your classroom now? And what could they look like in your classroom? So this week, we're going to tackle 2 different ideas that can help you to bring those 4 tools more easily into your classroom. One is grouping strategies. And it's not just about grouping them, working in 2s or 3s, but what are they doing within those groups? So I presented you with some ideas on literature circles that I truly feel can go cross-curricular. There's a great article written by teacher Marcy Friedman, a first grade teacher at Gross Schechter Academy in Cleveland. And it's a Schechter school, and she took this this course earlier in the year, and when I went to visit her classroom, she was jumping up and down because she had entrusted her kids to work in groups, had assigned them, they had chosen the book they were going to read. These are first graders, and she had assigned them to work in group, each one with their own job. And the product, and there's a picture of it in her article, is so amazing, but even more amazing is the confidence she's developed in her own teaching. The second piece is technology in the classroom. And I truly feel, as Elise feels, that technology should be there to help the students to understand the content. That first and foremost is having the students interact with the content in a meaningful way so that they are able to internalize what it is you want them to teach. And technology should be the tool, not the main focus. However, using technology, you can open up the world to your students. So the second part of the readings and the research is about technology and how you can easily bring it into your classroom. Um, I really encourage you to participate in the discussion. This is how we learn from each other. I hope that you will reach out if you have any questions or concerns this week. If there are resources that you would like to see that I didn't put up, please reach out. I spend my day looking at resources for you, so please reach out. I have an arsenal to share with you. I hope you have a great week and a Shavua Tov. Thank you so much.